Your Minnesota Twins finally win a one-run game. Final score versus the Marlins, Game 2, 2-1. Full deep dive coming up next. Minnesota Twins postcast.
This is the Twins postcast. Your instant game reaction for the Minnesota Twins. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What's going on? Back in the lab, back at it. Another Minnesota Twins postcast right here. Locked On Sports Minnesota Network. Your team every day. Luke Inman at Luke_Spinman. Got my guy with me, Sweet Lou Hennesey. Give him a follow on X at Sweet Lou MN. Twins expert over at ZoneCoverageMN.com as well. You shared with me right before we hit the record button a crazy stat about the Minnesota Twins in one-run games. I hope it's not your nerdy stat, but it's so crazy. I want it right now, right on the top.
No, and this, I actually heard this on the broadcast tonight. So
okay.
This was coming from Corey Provis himself. I got to give credit where credit is due. Twins before tonight had not won a one-run game since May 24th. They had lost 9 straight heartbreakers. So really good to get back in the win column today with a one-run victory.
Lots to get into. Simeon Woods Richardson, strong outing on the mound. Plus, MLB draft 11 days away. But first, quick reminder, tonight's episode brought to us by Game Time. Game Time, download the Game Time app, create an account, use code LOCKDOWNMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Quick little recap, 30 seconds, Twins Marlins, a Game 2 in Miami, Simeon Woods Richardson on the mound. He was like exactly what you want from a young end-of-the-rotation guy like him. 5 innings, 2 hits, gave up 1 solo bomb, but that was it. You know, Brooks Lee and Carlos Correa, both with a couple RBIs, 1 in the first, 1 in the fourth. Gave him a little bit of breathing room. 5 relievers coming in. Take care of business after that. 5 relievers, 5 shutout innings for the Twins. Absolute domination on the back end. 2-1, though. That's your final. 41-45 now on the year. 4 games below 500. What was your biggest takeaways? What really stuck out the most, I guess, in Game 2 in Miami?
Oh my goodness. It's so cheesy and so cliche to call anything a must-win game, but this felt like it, you know, to lose yet another series. I mean, we'll see what happens tomorrow, but to have already lost a series to the Miami Marlins after what's been happening, they really needed to pull through with it tonight. And luckily, by the slimmest of margins, they were able to do it. Another encouraging outing for Simeon Woods Richardson. I think that there's some traditionalists who are going to be like, oh, he only went 5 innings though. But at this point, I'd rather take a good outing of 5 innings and let the bullpen do what they're supposed to do. They did it tonight with 4 innings, 4 scoreless innings from 5 different relievers, picking each other up, keeping the base paths clean. It was a very clean win on the pitching side.
Yeah, only 75 pitches for SWR. You're thinking box score. You're looking at that box score scouting. You're like, dude, you know, let them run it one more time, run it back one more time. But with the young guys, Festa and SWR, which I'll ask you in a little bit, we'll get into a little bit deeper dive. But it's just like stay away from the blow up inning, right?
Yep.
I mean, we've seen both these guys put 2-3 great innings together. Just staying away from the blow up inning. Yes. Rocco leaning on his relievers a little bit more. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Let's get into our biggest turning point from today.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
Boy, if you watch this one, you know it. Marlins had their opportunities to just sink the Twins, what felt like time and time again. Despite all that, though, tonight's biggest turning point, when was it and why?
I'll have to go with that very clutch play from Harrison Bader, gunning the guy out at home to keep that 1-run lead. Bader has stepped up time and time again this season. He's been a very, very good pickup for them on a value deal. He has been he's been a menace defensively. He's been so good out there in left field and center field when Byron's not in center. He like I said, he's come through time and time again with some really big, really clutch plays defensively, and tonight is just one more for that highlight reel for the season on him.
Yeah, let's get into our player of the game, team MVP from tonight as well.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
Not a lot of glitz and glamour, right? Not a double-digit crooked number any inning. You know, Carlos Correa, Brooks Lee both got some RBIs. You mentioned that splashy, nice play from Bader at left field. Could go SWR with five strong innings. But you tell us, your MVP from tonight, Game 2, 2-1 victory. Who is it and why?
On the play alone, I'd probably go with Bader, but on the performance on a game-wide scale, I might go with Willie Castro. Another 3-hit game on his part.
Yep.
If they're going to start clawing their way back up here, and Willie's going to be an everyday player like he has been, he's going to really need to hit because his defensive metrics have dipped considerably this year. So he's going to need to provide value with the bat, and he did so tonight with 3 hits, a stolen base, a caught stealing, but that kind of comes with the territory. We will take this version of Willie Castro with a 800 OPS and plays a decent, I guess you would say, second base. So I'll give it to Willie tonight.
I like that. A little bit more coming up. MLB draft 11 days away. I'm psyched. That's all coming up right after this. Quick reminder, tonight's episode brought to us by FanDuel. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, official sportsbook partner of the MLB. Right now, FanDuel's giving you a chance at a huge return, $200 in bonus bets, guaranteed when you win your first $5 wager. Why I love FanDuel. When you get the hunch in the middle of the game, you go check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more, all on the same page where you place your bets. Again, $200 in bonus bets, guaranteed when you win your first $5 wager. Go check it all out over at FanDuel.com. Get in some MLB future action if you dare. Twins now plus 700 to win the AL Central. It's all sitting up over at FanDuel.com. Again, check it all out over at FanDuel.com and get $200 in bonus bets, guaranteed when you win your first $5 wager. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook and official sportsbook partner of the MLB. All right, talked to CJ last night about this. I just want your 2 cents here. I'm a draft nerd, 11 days away from the 2025 MLB draft. Twins kind of smack dab in the middle, 16th overall pick. ESPN, let me read you off this. ESPN in their latest mock, they've got him taking another shortstop, Marik Houston from Wake Forest. The blurb, arguably the best defender in the entire draft. OPS over 1,000 for Wake Forest last year. Huge ceiling, huge potential. When you hear all that, though, shortstop, collegiate player, knowing they've got Correa through 2028, right? Brooks Lee, Kalen Culpepper, which I want to ask you about here next. Is this just a BPA kind of best player available situation, no matter the position, or are there any, I always look at Kwesi and the Vikings. Are there any tendencies from our GM the last few years we can kind of lean on?
We're, like you said, we're talking kind of the mid-level of the first round there. It's a little harder to predict. It's not like that one year where they had Walker Jenkins, where it's like, okay, any of these 5 guys that follow us, we're taking that one. It's not quite like that, obviously, where they're sitting right now. But I'm kind of curious. I would love to see them go for a couple different college players, a couple different college names that have piqued my fancy, so to speak here. But then again, the middle of the first round, sometimes you still see some high school guys, some prep guys getting some action there. A little less likely maybe with this class, but there's going to be some intriguing names up there for sure.
Do you see the league kind of trending or moving towards more collegiate players? I feel like, I've followed the Twins drafts for the last decade, 15 years plus, whatever. Feels like high schoolers went a lot more just because of the high ceiling, high potential. They're going to be in the minors probably for 3-4 years regardless.
Sure.
But it feels like lately, and correct me if I'm wrong, more collegiate players going just because it feels like the obvious. They're a little bit more refined, a little bit more like pro ready, and you get a little bit quicker return too. If I'm a GM, I'm thinking, man, in 3, 4, 5 years, I might not even be here. So I might as well go get a guy that I think could maybe get up in the system here sooner than later.
That might be where this front office is at. They might really be having that in the back of their mind for sure. I think that there's something to the kind of the trends of a lot of the best teams taking just a ton of pitchers. We see the Tampa Bay Rays doing that, the Cleveland Guardians doing that, the Los Angeles Dodgers doing that. And the Twins, especially in recent years, have started really following the trend of college arms kind of in the middle rounds, it seems like. We're talking Bailey Ober, Zebby Matthews, CJ Culpepper, guys like that, maybe from non-elite programs that they can kind of coach up a little bit and maybe add some velocity and turn them into major league products. So I think that's the trend that the Twins have gone the past few years. We'll see if they do it again this time.
You got one name in the back of your mind. Don't want to put you on the spot, but one name you can fling out. We can put the back of our minds, kind of jot down come draft time. Maybe it's not even a first round, just a guy that kind of intrigues you regardless of the Twins pick him up or not, just a guy we can kind of follow along with.
I'll give you 2 names. That's the least I can do. Okay. 2.
Yep.
Just an 80 grade baseball name too. I'm going to go with catcher Ike Irish. He is probably one of the better hitters in this draft class, I would think. Smooth left-handed swing catcher. Played some outfield this year as he was recovering from an injury, but he's got a like I said, a very smooth left-handed swing. Big guy behind the plate. Does it sound familiar? I mean, it would be really nice for them to maybe invest a little bit into the catching core, because after the next couple of years, it's kind of a lot of question marks. The other name, I'm going to go with Gage Wood. He threw like a 19 strikeout complete Maddox or something like that.
Wow.
College World Series. He was trending towards maybe like fringe first rounder, maybe second rounder before that happened. And I think since then he's kind of shot up a little bit. I'm not sure if it's going to be enough steam to get into the top 10, top 15, so to speak, but maybe if he's there for the Twins and they really like some of the shape of his pitches, he's going to go to somebody.
Yeah, no, I like it. I like finding the unique guys, whether it's a crazy game with loaded with stats, whether it's super young, high seal, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
I like finding unique guys that kind of go against the generic vanilla mold a little bit, and just like throw some darts up on there. You're not going to hit on all of them, but if you hit on one, maybe two of them a year, dude, all of a sudden, after 3-4 years of draft classes like those, I feel like it does make a difference. Nerdy stat of the day, any crazy stat, fun analytic, Twins related. What do you got tonight?
So I picked this one up going into the bottom of the ninth inning in tonight's game when Joan Duran was coming in to close it out. I was like, okay, he's coming up against the bottom of the order. Why do I feel a little nervous right now? Duran's had a really great season. I'm a big believer in his stuff. Why in the back of my head am I kind of nervous right now? So I looked it up. Since the beginning of last season, the 2024 campaign, he has allowed an on-base percentage of 341 to bottom of the order hitters. That is I think the third worst in baseball, something like that. So luckily he's been able to dodge a lot of those bullets. He's been really good at getting, whether it's the leadoff hitter or something like that. But in my head, it kind of it solidified that kind of fear in the back of my mind, I guess.
I got one too. It's a non-Twins related, but still kind of a wild stat. You know, we came into this game, the last 18 innings. CJ and I talked about it last night after the second game. And granted, they faced two studs, right? Scooble, Detroit, Sunday Night Baseball, the Marlins ace, last night in game one. But we talk about run support a lot for the Twins, obviously. And this one comes courtesy of Rich Inman, who's certainly watching at home. He texted me this one just an hour or two ago. Paul Skeens, in his last 12 starts, has one win, 1-5. His ERA, though, 1.84, 76 strikeouts in 73 innings. So Paul Skeens over there in Pittsburgh, still dominated, still the exact same guy he was last year when he won Rookie of the Year, if not even better. You know, a lot of these guys, obviously, in any sport get better in year two. But Paul Skeens just not getting the W's right now for the lack of run support over there in Pittsburgh. Pretty wild, though, right?
That is wild. And you know what? It makes me think he would be a great fit in this rotation. Why not?
Get him over
Come
here.
on
Buy
down
low.
to Target Field, Paulie Skeens.
Guy stinks. Buy low. 1-5. Are you kidding me? Buy low. Don't go anywhere. Preview of the rubber match. Game 3 tomorrow. That's all coming up right after this. Quick reminder, tonight's episode brought to us by Prize Picks. Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app with more than 10 million members to date for me and my money. It's just by far the easiest, most exciting way to get in on all the action while you watch your favorite sports and you watch your favorite players. So simple as you got to do. You pick more or less on 2 or more player stats. You watch the winnings roll in, home runs, base hits, RBI, strikeouts, stolen bases, you name it, they got it. Take your pick on more or less. Add them to your Prize Picks entry today. Plus, they now offer Apple Pay, quick and easy deposits into your account all season long. Download the Prize Picks app. Use code LOCKEDONMLB for $50 instantly with any $5 wager. All right, game 3, David Festa back on the mound. I asked CJ this as well. I want to get your 2 cents again. Whether it's like Festa, Woods Richardson tonight, what is like your bar? Where is the expectations coming into each start? Are you just hoping for the 5 good innings like we got tonight with without any huge blowups? Is it getting through the order, cleanly, not once but twice? Like, what's the mindset, I guess, as we kind of, just in general, back end of the rotation, guys always temper our expectations tomorrow. So Festa tomorrow, what are you looking for specifically in that rubber match?
You know what? If he could give us what Sim gave tonight, 5 clean innings, keeps the team in the game, we'll take that for a few rounds in the rotation until Pablo Lopez and Zebby Matthews hopefully show up. Those are 2 guys that I would trust more in kind of later innings, kind of more bulk on them. So for right now, whatever, if they can be effective through 5 innings, we'll take that. That's really solid. They're going to bridge a lot for this team. So, they do have upside, especially David Festa, to be better than that, of course. But at the same time, we need to temper our expectations in that he's a rookie player who's going to make rookie mistakes. I guess I'm not sure if he still has rookie designation, but anyway, a young player who's got a lot on his back here. Temper your expectations, but it's also not unreasonable to expect a competitive 5 and dive start from him.
Royce Lewis made his return yesterday. The kind of assumption, CJ, kind of mindset was now that he's up, if he's healthy, give him a green light. Tonight, they had him on the bench. They come in, pinch hit, 0 for 1, DH. Do you expect him to play, the full gauntlet tomorrow, or have you heard any of kind of what their blueprint or game plan is with obviously one of their core studs?
Yeah, I think they're going to do whatever they can to keep him healthy, and I think that's going to mean a lot of 2 on, 1 off, 3 on, 1 off, stuff like that. Maybe in those opportunities, it'll be like tonight where, he could reasonably come off the bench and, pinch hit for a lefty like Wallner or for Larnick or somebody. But I think they're going to want to get him right and just get his mindset right. Before he got injured, he was starting to really figure things out. He was on a heater at the plate. He just looked so much more balanced. His hands just looked so much more comfortable at the plate. So I'm hoping that he can get there in short order. But we'll just have to wait and see, I guess.
Twins win their first 1-run game since May 24th. They snapped that 9-game losing streak in these 1-run matchups. 2-1, that's your final. 41-45 now on the year, 4 games below 500. Huge shout out, all you guys, all the everydayers out there that always make us your first listen. All you guys coming in the chat with us from game to game. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. Check out all Lou's work, by the way, on X at Sweet Lou MN Plus. He's always putting up great stuff over at ZoneCoverageMN.com as well. Luke Inman on X at Luke_Spinman. Again, game 3 tomorrow. Fest on the mound. Catch you right here. Same time, same place. Until then, signing out.